Could Amber Heard win appeal versus Johnny Depp? Shortly after the 6-week trial at Fairfax County concluded, Amber Heard's legal team announced that the actress planned on appealing the judgment made against her. Exes Amber Heard and Johnny Depp had been embroiled in a lengthy legal battle that went on for years. After 6 long weeks fueled by media frenzy, popularity polls, and a whole lot of scandals, the verdict was finally in. Depp was awarded $10 million. However, Heard's legal team went on air shortly afterwards and announced that the actress could not pay the judgment and instead planned on filing a motion for appeal at the appellate court. A lot of people scoffed at the actress's announcement, but according to a few law experts, she just might have a shot at winning her appeal. Heard's made changes to her legal team and removed a key player from the Virginia court trial. Depp's filing an appeal as well, plus a slight technical error might be grounds for a mistrial. All that and a whole lot more in today's video. Amber Heard to appeal. The Rum Diaries co-stars lived as they loved, fast-paced, head-first, and scandalous. After a 6-week trial, the jury ruled in favor of Johnny Depp, who brought a $50 million lawsuit against his ex-wife for a defamatory op-ed published in the Washington Post in 2018. Heard's op-ed, "I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath that has to change," didn't outrightly name her ex-husband as the alleged abuser. However, she was barely subtle with her allegations. Back in 2016, Heard famously walked into court with a bruise on the side of her face to file a restraining order against her ex-husband. The motion for the restraining order was never disclosed to the public, but Heard released a joint statement with Depp a few days later stating that the pair had mutually decided to call it quits and that there was no love lost between the two of them. Yeah, well, it seems like there was some love lost after all. Amber Heard and Johnny Depp started dating in 2014. They were married in 2015 and divorced by 2016. Their short-lived relationship didn't necessarily set tabloid magazines ablaze. People get divorced all the time, so what? Their relationship only started getting interesting after it was over. Depp filed a $50 million defamation lawsuit against Heard back in 2020, claiming that her op-ed and subsequent media publications had been detrimental to his career. Most notably, the Pirates of the Caribbean star was released from his role as Captain Jack Sparrow by Disney, shortly after his ex-wife's abuse claims. Heard, in turn, filed a $100 million countersuit suggesting that her allegations were founded and Depp was in fact the abuser. A Virginia court, however, found that Heard's claims were defamatory and ordered her to pay Depp $15 million in defamatory claims and punitive damages. Because of the court's cap judgment, the verdict was reduced to $10 million in defamation claims and $500,000 in punitive damages. Heard was also awarded a $2 million claim against a statement Depp's previous lawyer had made, calling her a liar on live television. Depp was clearly at an advantage, but Amber wasn't about to go down without yet another fight. Some sources claim she had to appeal the acclaim on account of her minimal finances, and others claim it was for the greater good. In any event, Amber Heard has filed a motion to appeal the Virginia court ruling in an appellate court, and she might just win. Why can't Amber Heard pay? While it's not exactly what Depp was hoping for, $10 million is still a huge amount of money. Sources close to Depp, including Depp's manager, however, claimed that the actor had lost a total of $100 million after his divorce settlement with Heard, which included a lump sum of $14 million to his former wife. Even if you take the $2 million Heard was awarded, that still puts Depp at an $8 million advantage. However, Amber claims that she cannot pay the judgment. Why is that? Notwithstanding Heard's claims that the trial was unfair, the actress went on air shortly after the trial on the Today Show with Savannah Gerthy and claimed that her trial was highly publicized and painted her out as the perfect villain. Sources suggest Heard does not have the funds to pay her former husband. What happened to the $14 million from her divorce settlement? Back in 2016, Heard announced that she planned on donating half of her multi-million-dollar settlement to the ACLU. However, in 2022, Depp's lawyers established that Heard had not in fact donated any money to the organization. If anything, a check from the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, was deposited on behalf of Amber Heard to the ACLU. And that's another story. The actress lives with her 1-year daughter in her Yucca Valley estate, which she quietly acquired in 2019 under a trust. The trust, which has some mysterious ties to Heard, paid a total of $570,000 for the 2,500 square feet estate. According to some sources, Heard didn't have the money to pay for her own legal team. The Aquaman star took out a loan against her estate to pay her legal team headed by Elaine Breedhoft. Legal fees aside, the actress barely had anything left over to pay the multi-million-dollar judgment made against her. An appeal was inevitable, but in spite of Heard's claims for the truth and justice, sources suggest she had no other choice but to appeal. Meet Amber Heard's new legal team. In July of 2022, Amber Heard announced her plans on appealing the May 2022 judgment. Concurrently, the actress introduced David L. Axelrod and J. Ward Brown to her legal team. Axelrod and Brown will be joining Ben Rottenborn, who served on Heard's team for the defamation case with Elaine Breedhoft. But wait, where's Elaine? The Depp versus Heard case was a highly sensationalized case for several reasons: high-profile exes claiming harrowing abuse, a multi-million-dollar defamation lawsuit, several Hollywood A-listers being name-dropped, and social media's own take on law and order. Camille Vasquez and Elaine Breedhoff found themselves trending on Twitter shortly after the trial started. Similar to their clients, Vasquez won the popularity vote, and Breedhoff found herself as a meme template. Heard's lawyer was particularly ridiculed online after she claimed that her clients would use a 2018 launched concealer palette to cover her bruises from 2016. The makeup brand in question, Milani, actually released a mock video on TikTok calling out Breedhoff for her mistake, and the video blew up. Breedhoff would then claim that she was using the specific palette as an example of the palettes her client would use, but social media isn't known for being a forgiving place. Anyway, the trial continued with Depp's legal team eventually coming out on top. They won the case, and Vasquez managed to make partner at a law firm after the verdict was announced. Breedhoff, on the other hand, was quietly dismissed by Heard. The actress announced her new legal aid and subtly made a diss at Elaine. Elaine, however, was a good sport. Heard's former lawyer said that it was time to pass the baton and stated that she would fully cooperate with Axelrod and Brown in her former client's appeal case. In a joint statement, Axelrod and Brown say, "We welcome the opportunity to represent Ms. Heard in this appeal, as it is a case with important First Amendment implications for every American." Axelrod and Brown had successfully defended the New York Times against Sarah Palin's defamation lawsuit earlier this year. The technicality that can cause a mistrial. When Amber Heard announced that she was planning on appealing the Virginia court verdict, many people on the internet were unamused. The obvious assumption was that the actress did not have the money to pay her former husband and was trying to stall the judgment for as long as she could. And there might be some truth to that statement. However, legal experts suggested that filing for an appeal was the smartest move Heard could make. Notwithstanding the highly sensationalized nature of the case, many lawyers believe the trial was, in some ways, unfair. The jury could not have stayed impartial with everything that was going on over social media. For context, there were over 5 million tweets in support of Johnny Depp, compared to less than a few 100,000 for Amber Heard. Well, now it seems like Heard might just have a shot at winning her appeals case. According to her legal team, there was a slight technical error which resulted in the wrong juror being called for jury duty at the Virginia court. Apparently, the juror who was supposed to be called was born in 1969, whereas the juror who came in his place was born sometime in the 1980s. Juror documents are accessible to both legal teams, and Heard's team noticed that a juror with the same name, living in the same house, but born at a later time, was called in place of the juror who had originally been selected to adjudicate the trial. Would one juror have really made the difference? Apparently, yes. While it's unclear as to whether Heard would have won the case had the original juror been called, it's clear that the error stands for clear grounds for a mistrial. Some legal experts believe that Heard might be grasping at straws with her want for a mistrial, but others believe the technical error serves enough ground for her appeal to pull through. Eric D. Subin, senior trial attorney and partner at Subin Associates, told Newsweek that the only way Heard would be able to secure an appeal would be by demonstrating a mistake of law or fact that could harm her ability to receive a fair trial. Heard's new legal team believes the technical error proves just that. The First Amendment right. Okay, so the wrong juror being called to adjudicate a trial serves as sufficient grounds to prove that Heard had been denied a fair trial. However, her legal team did not intercept the technical error until after Heard announced that she would be appealing the May 2022 verdict. What was their modus operandi before that? While announcing the appeal in July, a spokesperson for Heard said, "We believe the court made errors that prevented a just and fair verdict consistent with the First Amendment. We are therefore appealing the verdict. While we realize today's filing will ignite the Twitter bonfires, there are steps we need to take to ensure both fairness and justice." Throughout the trial, Heard's legal team tried to establish two key factors in their client's defense. Heard had not named her former husband as the abuser and had therefore not defamed him, and that she was exercising her First Amendment right by publishing the op-ed. When his former wife announced that she would be appealing the case, Johnny Depp stayed relatively calm. However, in light of the new revelations, the actor has motioned for an appeal of his own. Johnny Depp to appeal as well. The former Pirates of the Caribbean star played a power move. Johnny Depp will be countering Amber Heard's appeal. Depp's 4-page appeal motion read as follows. Plaintiff and counterclaim defendant John C. Depp II by counsel hereby appeals to the Court of Appeals of Virginia from all adverse rulings and from the final judgment order of the Circuit Court entered on June 24, 2022. A source close to Depp confirmed that the actor wanted the appellate court to understand the full record and legal issues that were discussed and concluded in the Virginia court case. Depp's countermove might or might not be able to secure his $10.5 million judgment, but it will definitely slow down Heard's motion. If Amber Heard wins the appeal, a new case will begin with rulings from the appellate court being considered. The Depp versus Heard case is far from over. And that's all for today's video. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Be sure to like it, give us a subscription for more informative content, and we'll see you soon. Bye.